Will, it's good of you to come in. Will Hobson, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Now, 90 children are being taken into care every day in England and Wales, with councils warning the situation is unsustainable because of pressure on funding. The number of children in the care system has now reached more than 72,000. That's a rise of 3% since last year. Well, Dillon Terry was put into the care system when he was 9. Following a series of foster placements, he went to Hillcrest Steps. That's a residential children's home in Oxfordshire where Sadie Dangerfield helped to care for him. It's a great pleasure to say they both join me now from Chipping, Norton. Thank you both very much for coming on the programme. Dillon, when we talk about children going into care, different people have different images. I just want to go into your story a bit, because I think you'd been brought up by your grandparents. Your parents, I think, were both in prison. And when your grandfather died, well, your world sort of unravelled, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
So just tell us what happened, because I think you were taken into 9 foster homes, weren't you?
Yeah, I was in 9 foster homes because I didn't really want the family that... It wasn't a family. Like, they got rid of my... Well, I didn't have a family anymore. So going to 9 different foster carers it was all different families. I didn't want a family now. I had nobody, so I thought it was me against the world.
And you got yourself into trouble?
I did get myself into a little bit of trouble, yeah, but it wasn't a lot of trouble. It was just stupid things because I had different sorts of mindsets when I was younger, but now I've grew out of them mindsets.
And Sadie, what is it that you offer that has got Dillon on a different path?
I think it's consistency and just being able to stabilise a young person when they've experienced crises. So it's just about nurturing and supporting and giving them a place where they can talk and having lots of people around that are prepared to listen and make a positive relationship, which ultimately is what supported Dillon through into his teenage years.
Yeah. Dillon, I'm just interested, because if you go through 9 foster families as you did, I mean, these foster families, they deserve universal praise, most of them, for doing their bit. But it's, as you say, it is not a family. Is that the essential problem?
No, I appreciate what they all offer, but for me, it wasn't the right thing. I didn't want that environment. Like, I just came out of the environment of my own family, and I didn't really feel that I wanted to go into another family, so I rebelled. And that's not what I wanted. And then at 9, I came to Hillcrest Steps, and that changed my life, really.
Changed your life and encouraged you to find out what you liked, and the answer seems to be football, is that right?
Yeah, definitely. That's the thing that's got me through all of this, football. It's the thing that, as soon as that whistle goes, the mindset of everything else is gone. It's just you're thinking about football. And I live to play football.
I'll tell you what, Sadie, when I use the word football, both of you suddenly smiled broadly. I mean, you've seen a remarkable change in this young man, haven't you?
Yeah, there have been some ups and downs, and it's been very difficult for Dillon. But he has always maintained focus, and ultimately he's a really good boy at heart. So he has listened, and he hasn't always liked what he's heard, but he has listened, and now he's grown into a young man who can reflect, and he's able to move forward, and we're very proud of him.
And clearly he's a young man to be very proud of. Dillon, I just wonder, when you hear that 90 children are being taken into care every day in England and Wales, I mean, each one of those has a story presumably very similar to yours.
Yeah, I think so, but everyone's story to them is their story. So, obviously, your story is your story, so I thought my story was the worst. But coming into this sort of environment in care homes where there's a lot of kids that come in and out of the place, you start to hear other people's stories. And then when that starts to make you think about what they've gone through, which makes you think, oh, my story isn't that bad. And then you start comparing it, and then you stop feeling sorry for yourself, and then you go and do what you want to do.
Well, I mean, that's inspirational, and I just want to ask both of you what you think you're going to be doing in 10 years' time.
In 10 years' time, I want to be in football. I don't...
What year?
Yeah.
I fully intend to be still doing what I do at Hillcrest Steps.
Well, I wish you both well. It's a great story, and thank you very much for your time in telling it to us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alice is here, she's got all the business news, but first, our headlines here on Afternoon Live. As the fifth round of Brexit